Bigfoot hunting with Bigfoot Tales, and I'm happy to say that it looks like the Durham gorilla, if that's what we want to call him, is back. I came down to where I found some sign last year, and so far I found several tracks. Most of them are, can't really verify that what they came from, but they were rather large. There was a lot of canine, most likely coyote. Found some beaver sign, otter, lots of rabbits, and a lot of flowers with tubers that are growing up. They're already starting to break through the surface with our nice weather we've been having. But I did find one track that was about 16 inches long and about 6 or 7 inches wide. It wasn't complete enough to be worth casting, so I didn't. It would have been just another blob print, and so the signs are good. I think we're going to have a decent season, and I'm thinking maybe we might find some concrete evidence this year that will conclusively prove that there is one of these creatures roaming the coastlines of Maine. I'm going to be going on some more concentrated hunts with later on this year. So again, if you're interested, cruise on over to the Maine Bigfoot research group over on Yahoo groups, and drop me a note and see what's going on there. Plenty of ducks out today. I'm standing beside a river watching some of them head downstream. Gorgeous out here today. But again, welcome to another season of hunting for the furry man of the woods, and let's hope we get something concrete this year. I believe we will. It's quite likely. But I got some new equipment. Got a Nikon D3200 camera this year. I'm going to be getting several lenses to go with it, from macro all the way up to super telephoto. Does 24.1 megapixel pictures, so there'll be a lot more clarity. It also does 1080 video if I want to do that. Right now I'm using my older SD camera. Haven't really seen anything worth the expense of carrying an HD with me, so I got one that I'm going to be ordering that has infrared capabilities. So we're going to be doing some night hunting too. Again, if you're interested, hop on over to Maine Bigfoot Research at yahoogroups.com, and go from there, and enjoy the video and the pictures that are coming up here of today's hunt. While I was out, I was kind of mildly surprised at being able to find some. I didn't think I'd have any luck, especially on the first time out. And again, these tracks that I found may not even have been from a Bigfoot. Could be something entirely different. But I did look around, did some reconnoitering of the area, and there are some food sources there. I found, again, there were many tracks there. You'll see the coyote tracks there. Actually, a fairly good sized one. It may not have been a coyote. It might have been a much bigger dog. But there were otter prints. There were beaver prints further up the river, which I didn't get a very good shot of, so I'm not going to share them here. There were some signs of rabbits and other things, but there were also greens coming up. And that particular area that I went in was ripe with skunk cabbage cropping up. And skunk cabbage, while it has a rather fetid odor, it is edible. If you do want to try eating it, though, just remember that it's chock full of oxalic acid. And if you do want to eat it, you have to make sure that it's 100% dry. You can't eat it raw. What'll happen is your mouth will burn. It'll sting really bad because of the oxalic acid. So once it's dried, you can reconstitute it. And the tubers you can make into a flour. Kind of tastes like a mild cocoa sort of flavor. Um, and you can also cook the greens after they've been dried in soups and stews and whatnot. Again, don't eat them raw, but they are edible. And the reason I'm putting this particular plant in there is one of the attributes that we've heard of in many, many cases is a fetid odor coming from these Bigfoot creatures. And I'm wondering if maybe the odor that we're smelling is actually this skunk cabbage. When you crush the leaves, you get an oil out of it that smells really, really bad. Perhaps sometime later on this summer when you're out and you come across some of these plants, you can crush the leaves yourselves and find out. But here's the prints. The first one that I found was about 16 inches long and just about 6 inches wide. Rather squarish in shape, but it did have the toe outline. Coming up later on, there will be another one, but this area here is not grown up. It's got a lot of work to do before it starts to get green. But when it does grow up, this area is actually pretty much impenetrable to most people. So I thought I'd go down earlier and walk up the river towards the town of, on this side of the river would be Durham. And I got quite a ways up. I passed two brooks. This third one here was actually a little too deep for me to cross, and it was getting later in the afternoon. And I wanted to make sure that I got back to town before it was too late. So I didn't go past this one, but up in, if you see way up in the distance, there's some clumps of trees where I caught some movement out of the corner of my eye. So I went up and tried to see what it was up there, but I couldn't see anything. It didn't appear to be very tall, so I don't think it was a Bigfoot, but it was on the other side of the river, so I wasn't able to get any, or stream rather. I wasn't able to determine tracks of any types up there. Perhaps in another week, if I get another day off on a good day, I'll try to get around that somehow and continue on upstream and see what there is to see. Now, some of the things that I want to point out here is that when you're out looking for Bigfoot, any good hunter does is he learns everything he can about his prey. And movement up in that area behind that clump of trees. Don't know what it is, but I think I'm going to see if I can get a closer look at it. I've been reading up quite a bit, which I think leads me to the reason why I was able to find what I did so quickly. Once you learn the attributes of whatever it is you're hunting, it becomes much easier to find them. And I don't think, from what I've seen in the Bigfoot community, is there aren't that many Bigfoot hunters out there that are actually physically hunting Bigfoot. I think they're, for the most part, going out on a nice afternoon or a nice evening and hoping to come across something, and all too frequently they turn the things that they find into something that it isn't. Again, we have to figure out how to hunt them. And food sources is probably one of the best ways to do that. We have to find out what he's eating. And again, that brings the skunk cabbage that I discussed earlier into the picture. And I think one of the things that we need to look for is to look for areas that we know are rich in these sorts of plants. We wouldn't normally eat them, but they are edible. In the old days, the Indians ate them. So it's reasonable to assume that Bigfoot eats them too. And here's that second track that was also about 16 inches long and 5 to 6 inches wide. This is also squarish, and you could almost make out a faint toe impression on it. I wish I had casting material with me. I didn't bring any. Make that 2 tracks that I found today that are a size. So I think I'm on the right trail. But here's a little better picture of it. You can see where it almost makes out the toe marks there on the leading end. And again, it's about 6 inches wide there, roughly. You can make out the shape of the foot. Much bigger than my my boot was. But anyhow, get back to that. We know that it's nocturnal, so a lot of times we're not going to find it during the day. Those few sightings where we have seen it, I think, have been purely accidental in nature. And I think it's because we've gotten too close to their comfort zone, and they've moved away from wherever it is they're sleeping. I'm going to guess that their hearing is a hell of a lot better than ours, as well as their sight and smell. So, but they also seem to be quite adept at reasoning situations, if in fact they do exist, due to their... I base that point. And here's an interesting stick structure that I found. I can't, say that it's actually a stick structure. I guess it's possible that those sticks landed in just that pattern to make the T. This one here we found pretty interesting. It was a fresh break and just laying there. But to continue on, we need to really start delving into our resources to come up with a more comprehensive means of finding this creature. There's a lot going on in the world of Bigfoot today. The recent body hoax is finally crumbling. I figured it would. Generally put, any time that you hear of a so-called Bigfoot shooting, you're going to find that there really isn't any. If there was one, I believe law enforcement would be all over a situation like that. Well, never mind. You can probably figure it out. Law enforcement would be heavily involved in a situation like that. You would have a body that was human-like, so regular police departments, district attorneys would be interested in possibly pursuing murder charges or manslaughter charges, if that were in case of human being. Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife would be on it for killing a animal that you don't have a license for. So nobody in their right mind, if they do shoot one, is ever going to tell anybody. So I don't think we're going to find any bodies like that. I think there's only 2 options here. Number one is to come across a dead one in the woods, and number 2 is to capture a live one. And the only 2 ways that we're going to do that is to learn more about its habits and its habitat. And that's what I'm kind of trying to do here. And I'm going to wrap this up short today. This will be, instead of a half hour, like many of mine have been, I'm going to shoot for 15 minutes here, so I'm going to wrap it up. Again, check out some more of our what's going on with Maine Bigfoot and the Maine Bigfoot research groups over at Yahoo Groups, and be sure to check out my blog at Bigfoot Tales at WordPress.com, and enjoy. And don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Bigfoot Tales.